Two tractors, both sitting north of $300,000, both promising the same thing: maximum productivity, premium technology, a machine that works as hard as you do. Both delivering problems nobody put in the brochure. This is not a spec sheet comparison. You can find spec sheets anywhere. They are free, and they are useless for understanding what actually happens after the keys change hands. This is the problems comparison, the real one. The one the dealer skips because his commission depends on it. This is Farm Gear Pro. Today we are going through the specific problems operators are running into on both the Fendt 728 Vario and the John Deere 8R410 in 2026. Not one machine, both of them, because neither one is perfect. And pretending otherwise is how farmers end up with a $300,000 surprise. Stay with this. The problem on the 8R410 that shows up at year 3 is the one that changes the 5-year cost model completely. Start with the Fendt 728. $300,000. Nature green paint. Vario CVT that Fendt has been refining since 1995. And 5 problems that current owners are dealing with right now that the dealer demonstration absolutely did not cover. Problem 1 on the 728. Cab noise at road speed. Run this machine between 25 and 31 miles per hour. That is exactly the speed range the platform was engineered to operate at. Wind noise. Through the door seals. Through the front window frame. Not subtle. Not occasional. Consistent enough that operators running long transport days are describing it as genuinely fatiguing across a 12 to 14-hour shift. This is a $300,000 tractor. Wind noise at highway speed is not a footnote at this price point. It is a failure of the premium promise the brand made when it charged you the premium price. Fendt has acknowledged seal tolerances as a production variance on certain Gen 7.1 build dates. Certain. Not all. Whether your specific machine gets the fix applied depends entirely on which dealer you are standing in front of when you raise the complaint. Same company. Same documented problem. Same known fix. Different outcome depending on your zip code. That is not quality control. That is a customer lottery running on top of a $300,000 purchase. If the fix exists and Fendt knows about it, why is it not being applied to every affected machine before it leaves the production line? That question does not have a good answer. Problem 2 on the 728. The Variotronic TMS Headland Management System setup depth. In standard configurations running common implement setups, the headland system works clean. Does exactly what the demo showed you. The moment you run anything outside that narrow standard, strip till configurations, non-standard toolbar widths, implement combinations with unusual hydraulic demand patterns, you are in software programming territory that nobody mentioned during the sales process. Operators are spending 2 to 3 full field days troubleshooting headland sequences before getting acceptable results on custom setups. 2 to 3 days. In the cab. Managing software menus. Not covering acres. On a machine they just paid $300,000 for. The system can handle complex configurations. That is not the complaint. The complaint is that the depth of technical setup required for non-standard use cases was never communicated before purchase. You saw a demo on a standard planter on a clean field. You signed the papers. Then you attached your own implement and discovered the demo was not the whole story. How many buyers were told clearly before purchase that non-standard setups would require this kind of investment before the machine performed the way the demo suggested? Comment below if that conversation happened before you signed, because every operator who is frustrated right now is one it never happened for. Problem 3 on the 728. Electronic parts lead time. The 728 runs complex electronics across the iSobus system, the Variotronic TMS, and the Variodoc field documentation platform. Mechanical wear items, well covered through AGCO's American distribution network. The improvement since 2018 is real. Electronic components are a completely different conversation. Specific sensor assemblies, certain control modules, Variodoc hardware, manufactured to order, not sitting on a shelf at your regional AGCO warehouse waiting for you to need them at the wrong time. A machine down for an electronic fault outside a purely software fixable range. 5 to 14 days waiting on a part. 5 to 14 days, say that out loud. Now picture the 3rd week of October. Corn at optimal moisture. Weather window closing in 48 hours. Machine sitting in the shed, waiting on a part that nobody thought to put within driving distance of your operation. That is not a theoretical risk. That is a documented pattern from operators who found out the hard way. And it does not appear anywhere in the purchase agreement. Ask your Fendt dealer one specific question before you commit. Does your location carry electronic component inventory for the systems on the 728? Not a general yes, specific parts, specific shelf, specific availability. If the dealer cannot answer that with specifics, you now know exactly what your downtime exposure looks like the first time something electronic faults during harvest. Problem 4 on the 728. Real-world fuel versus documented specs in mixed duty conditions. AGCO's published fuel data for the 728 is strong. In test conditions matching the documented parameters, it holds up. Consistent heavy draft, stable ground speed, optimal engine load factor. Real working days are not test conditions. Operators running mixed duty cycles, tillage in the morning, road transport at midday, planting in the afternoon, are reporting real-world fuel consumption running 8 to 12% above the documented figures. 8 to 12%. Across 700 working hours per season, at current Midwest diesel prices between $3.40 and $3.80 per gallon. That is thousands of dollars annually, every season. Whether you are tracking it on a spreadsheet or just watching the fuel bill and wondering why it never comes down the way the brochure suggested it would. The 5-year cost comparison against competitors changes when you use the real-world fuel number instead of the documented one. The dealer showed you the documented one. The fuel pump shows you the real one, every single time you fill up. Problem 5 on the 728. Data platform friction in non-AGCO fleet environments. The 728 integrates cleanly into AGCO's European farm management ecosystem, fully AGCO operation. Every piece of equipment on the same data architecture. Works exactly as advertised. Clean, connected, seamless. That is not most American operations. American operators are running John Deere Operations Center. Climate Corporation FieldView. Third-party agronomic platforms built over a decade before they ever considered a Fendt. When they try to pull 728 field data into those existing platforms, export format compatibility issues, third-party software bridges, manual data re-entry, on a $300,000 machine. In 2026, your field data, your yield maps, your application records. The most valuable output your precision agriculture investment produces. It does not move cleanly between your Fendt and the rest of your operation, if the rest was not built around AGCO. AGCO knows about the interoperability friction. The platform is improving. But improving and solved are two different words. And right now, in 2026, the friction is real for the specific operator profile that describes most of the Americans currently considering this machine. Before we go further, if this is the kind of straight ownership picture the dealer presentation skipped, hit subscribe right now. No sponsorships, no manufacturer money, no dealer telling us what to say, just the problems. Back to it. Now the John Deere 8R410, 410 horsepower, E18 power shift. The machine John Deere markets as the backbone of American row crop production, north of $450,000 at the dealer in 2026, and problems that do not show up until year 2 or year 3, by which point the warranty conversation has already changed. Problem 1 on the 8R410, the software lockout. And this one is not a complaint, it is a documented federal legal matter. The 8R410 runs John Deere's Service Advisor diagnostic platform. When a fault trips on this machine, not a mechanical failure, a code, the repair path goes straight through the dealer. An independent mechanic cannot fully clear certain codes, cannot complete certain calibrations, cannot authorize certain component replacements without a dealer-licensed laptop in the bay. Your machine, your land, your harvest on the line. Dealer dispatch on their schedule. Dealer labor at $150 to $185 per hour. 3 to 6 hours of labor minimum on a mid-complexity software event before anyone touches a single component. $450 to over $1,100 in labor. On a machine that is not mechanically broken. The Federal Trade Commission filed a formal antitrust lawsuit against John Deere in January 2025. Section 2 of the Sherman Act, the serious one. Federal judge refused to dismiss it in June 2025. $99 million class action settlement in April 2026. John Deere committing to expanded diagnostic access by end of 2026. $99 million to settle a lawsuit about a farmer's right to fix his own tractor. The machine you buy today still runs the architecture that generated that lawsuit. The implementation is rolling out. Your tractor is not waiting on the implementation. Problem 2 on the 8R410. DF and SCR system exposure at high hours. Tier 4, final emissions architecture, DEF injection. Diesel particulate filter regeneration. Selective catalytic reduction. In ideal conditions, it runs clean. In real field conditions, cold starts, dusty environments, inconsistent duty cycles across a long mixed operation day. The SCR catalyst and DEF dosing components are generating fault events on high-hour machines that operators are not budgeting for. Repair invoices on DEF and SCR events on out-of-warranty 8R410 machines. $4,000 to $9,000 per event, not per year, and it does not announce itself before it arrives. It announces itself at the worst possible moment in the season calendar. Comment below if you have hit a DEF or SCR invoice on your 8R410. The range operators are reporting varies significantly across different operating environments. Real numbers from real operators in this comment section are worth more than any John Deere service bulletin. Problem 3 on the 8R410. This is the one that shows up at year 3 and changes the 5-year cost model completely. Clutch pack wear in the E18 PowerShift under sustained heavy draft applications. The E18 is a capable transmission. 18 forward gears, electronically managed. It has moved serious acreage across the Corn Belt for years at this horsepower level. But operators running the 8R410 in sustained heavy draft, deep tillage, large toolbar operation, high load pulling across variable soil conditions across a full working season are documenting clutch pack wear at intervals faster than the published service schedule accounts for in those specific operating conditions. The wear is not catastrophic. It accumulates, quietly, across seasons, until year 3, when the teardown reveals what the accumulation looks like. Clutch pack replacement on the E18 PowerShift at a John Deere authorized facility. $8,000 to $14,000, depending on how many packs are affected and what the inspection reveals once the transmission is open. Out of warranty, at dealer labor rates, on a $450,000 machine you bought to avoid 5-figure surprises. That is the problem nobody mentioned in the January financing special. Problem 4 on the 8R410. Hydraulic system pressure inconsistency under high simultaneous demand. Operators running the 8R410 with high-demand hydraulic implements. Large commodity planters requiring simultaneous hydraulic function across multiple sections. Complex toolbar configurations pushing the system toward its ceiling. Are reporting pressure inconsistency events that affect implement performance during critical field operations. Mid-planting, variable hydraulic pressure, inconsistent seed placement across sections. That is not a mechanical complaint you can put on a repair invoice. That is a yield complaint. And yield complaints do not show up at the dealer. They show up at the elevator in October, when the yield maps tell a story that does not match what the machine was supposed to deliver. Problem 5 on the 8R410, the Precision Agriculture Subscription Layer. Full access to John Deere Operations Center Pro Service, the platform that unlocks the 8R410's full precision agriculture capability, carries annual subscription costs on top of a machine that already costs north of $450,000. CEO John May has publicly stated he expects software to represent 10% of company revenue by 2030. Industry analysts estimate software gross margins at approximately 85%. Equipment gross margins at approximately 25%. The tractor is the low-margin product. The annual fee on top of the tractor is the real business. You are funding both every season. On iron, you thought you bought outright when you signed the purchase contract. Now the resale and trade-in picture across both machines, because every problem above has a trade-in dollar figure attached to it. Used Fendt 728 units are holding resale value consistently at Sullivan Auctioneers and Steffi's Group through 2025 and 2026. The 5 complaints above are real. They are also not destroying the Fendt's auction floor. The machine holds value. But unresolved production variances and undocumented service visits sitting in the dealer's system at trade-in time compress the number between strong resale and maximum resale. That compression has a dollar value. It is real. And it starts the moment you take delivery without knowing these 5 things. Late model John Deere 8R units are accumulating at Ritchie Brothers and Big Iron across Iowa, Illinois, and Nebraska in 2026 in volumes that did not exist 5 years ago. 3 to 5-year-old machines. Reasonable hours, being moved by operators who ran the 5-year model and decided not to run it again. John Deere's net income, $10.166 billion in fiscal 2023. Approximately $5 billion in fiscal 2025. 2026 forecast between $4 billion and $4.75 billion. 4th consecutive year of decline in the Production and Precision Agriculture division. A brand guiding its core farm business lower for 4 straight years while carrying an active federal antitrust case and shifting certain production lines to a new facility in Ramos, Mexico does not command the same trade-in premium in 2030 that it commanded in 2023. The machine you buy today trades in the market that exists in 2030, not the market that existed when the record profits were coming in. Now the straight comparison. Both machines have real problems. Neither one is the wrong choice for every operation. But the problems are different in a specific way that matters to every operator making this decision right now. The Fendt 728's problems are predominantly setup, calibration, parts lead time, and ecosystem integration issues. They are frustrating. They cost time and money. They are also the kind of problems that a motivated operator with a good dealer relationship and a willingness to invest in proper setup can manage across an ownership cycle. The John Deere 8R410's problems are predominantly structural. The software lockout is not a setup issue. It is a corporate strategy documented in a federal antitrust lawsuit. The DEF and SCR exposure is not a calibration issue. It is an emissions architecture running in conditions it was not fully optimized for. The clutch pack wear is not a configuration issue. It is a transmission wear pattern that accumulates quietly until year 3 when the invoice arrives. The subscription layer is not a feature issue. It is a recurring cost built into the ownership model that never appeared in the January financing conversation. Structural problems do not respond to better setup. They respond to different decisions. Ask your dealer for specific documented answers on every problem listed here before you commit to either machine. Not general assurances, specific answers. The kind that hold up when you ask the follow-up question. If the dealer cannot answer specifically on the Fendt, you now know what your ownership experience looks like when something goes wrong. If the dealer cannot answer specifically on the John Deere, that response is the most important information you received in the entire sales process. Drop your experience with either machine in the comments below. What is the problem nobody warned you about before delivery? What did it cost? What would you tell the operator sitting in the dealership right now about to sign for one of these? That real operator data is worth more than anything in any brochure. And it lives in this comment section. Thanks for watching Farm Gear Pro. If you found this breakdown valuable, share it with a fellow farmer and comment below your thoughts on this topic. See you in the next one.